Welcome, folks. This is your host, Master Vinny MC, and as always, it is a pleasure to have you all here with me today. Today, very early in the morning today, because I spent all last night building, I have a very special build for you guys, and you can already see it behind me. So let's go ahead and pop into first-person mode and take a look at what we got here. Now, this is a logging camp, and I'm going to give you guys a quick tour of it. And how it works. And the reason why I built this logging camp, and I did it all in creative, obviously you can see as I'm flying around here, is because there's been a lot of talk lately of power in general, steampunk power and so on and so forth, and it just seems to be like it's on everybody's mind. So I wanted to go ahead and kind of add a little bit to the discussion, if I could, and I'm going to talk here today about steam power and so on and so forth, and how that stuff actually works. And I'm gonna go ahead and give me my hands back because without them I get a little lost. So this is a lumber mill, and the central power unit of this lumber mill is right here. It is our big water mill, and this water mill has water that can come in from two different directions. We have water that can come in from the lake out here, and when it comes in from this direction, it's going to flow through the under channel, like so, out of here, and it is going to spin the wheel in one direction, like this way. If we're facing away from the lumber mill, it's going to spin it clockwise. And if we wanted to maybe set up some pistons later on, we could shut off that water source down there, and we can turn on this water source, and because it's coming in from the other direction, I would go ahead and spin our wheel counterclockwise. So you've already got forward and reverse kind of built in here. Depending on what landscape you're building your water mill into, if you're next to a lake, you're probably going to want to use a setup like so. But if you've got mountains and maybe a mountain lake, maybe you want to go ahead and funnel that water down in, because remember, the higher the water source starts, the more gravity is going to help it, and the more energy you're going to get transferred into your water wheel. So the water wheel is placed here in its little trench where the water filters through, and the axle is firmly anchored in our stone, and it's capped off on the end with a cute little trapdoor, and it sends this power into the main gear house. And if anybody's familiar with how a transmission in a car works, that's basically what this room is for. It takes the energy of this big spinning wheel here, and it sends it to a smaller cog. And what that does when you go from a bigger spinning wheel to a smaller spinning wheel is it makes this smaller wheel spin much faster. So it's giving you more energy. And again, it goes through the stone here, nice and secure, tucked in the building itself, and it's anchored in the wall. Now, you might notice here I go from the same size cog to another same size cog, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, what's the point of that? Why have this little guy down here in the middle? Well, the reason for that is because the way a real water mill works is if you went ahead and shut off the water source over here, it would take a few minutes before this big wheel stopped moving. So in case of an emergency, if you ever actually had to stop this operation very quickly, you would want to have one cog in the mix down here that you could take out of the setup. So you could basically pull a little lever, and it would retract the cog. Now, obviously, the way sticky pistons work in vanilla Minecraft, I can't make the whole cog go down, but, I was going for a slight element of realism in this particular build. Because I have family members that have worked in sawmills, so I kind of have a little bit of an insight into how they actually work in real life, and I went ahead and I let that bleed over into my creativity a little bit. So this is a transmission room, and it takes your energy, and it's going to increase your amount of energy by going from a big spinny wheel to a little spinny wheel. And these, just mechanically, if anybody's curious, I went ahead and made an X pattern with regular blocks, filled it in with stairs in the corners, and then these are fence gates, which you will need to place dirt blocks in order to place the fence gates on top of so that they will stay up against the wall, like so. And then I went ahead and I capped off the axles with these little trapdoors because, I think that's a good look for it. And, so once we go through our transmission room, we come down here to this cog, And this black wool is going to go ahead and represent a belt or a chain that's going to transfer energy from one cog into the other, and then across another axle, which is again secured into the ground with these stone securements here. And it goes into this nifty little quartz representation of what I would call an electric generator. So we go from mechanical energy, and we're transforming it into electrical energy, or, well, in this case, redstone energy, because that's what we have to work with in Minecraft. So this is made out of the new quartz blocks. It's the first thing I made with them, and I kind of like it quite a bit. Just some stairs and upside down stairs, full blocks, and then on top I just went ahead and put in half slabs. I thought that looked pretty cool. And of course I got a little display on the back, maybe a little sine graph represented in the picture here, and some buttons. And as you can see, the mechanical energy being changed inside, and in there, these are these new the redstone blocks. I thought they were pretty appropriate for this particular situation. And the energy is being transferred out below, as you can see, and into the wall. And we'll get into that a little bit later. So now that we have this electrical energy in our sawmill, we have another little station over here. Oh, hi villager. I spawned a couple of you guys before. We have our saw machinery right here, and of course this is kept below the floor. And up there we have our iron bars representing the large cutting mechanism that would be cutting our logs that are coming through. And as you can see here, these are daylight sensors. And in my opinion, I feel like daylight sensors make really good keyboards. At least that's what they look like to me. And these up here make really good computer monitors, because again, you can kind of think of them as like a little graph. So I went together and kind of threw that together there. And I think it's something that looks pretty good in the vanilla texture pack. And yeah, so that pretty much takes care of it for the saw room. And of course we've got some more villagers herping and derping around here, so we're going to let them do our thing. And we're going to come back up to the main floor of our sawmill. So now that we've got the energy taken care of, we have our entryway. We would basically have trucks or boats or something, or some kind of machinery back here that would be cutting down the trees in the forest and in the jungle, and they would be loading them into the back of the building. And then they come into a production line, and you would have a crane and operators, and again, little operating stations for all the machinery. It would pick up each log, and it would run it through the cutting table, like so. As you can see, this is the blade that we could see before. And we got a nifty little crane here, made out of some stone walls. And again, it's really nice how the stone walls kind of bind to the side of the log there. They make really good cranes, and really good hooks for cranes. And yeah, so the crane would pick up the log would come through, and then here you, I'm being a little bit destructive there, so I'm going to go ahead and let that be. I can fix it later. But yeah, so once it's been done being processed, it would either be stored here in the factory floor, or it would be taken out to a dock. Most lumber mills do, probably still to this day, if they don't load them on trucks and take them on the freeway, there's still a lot of use of water. It's a very easy way to transport logs and lumber in general. And the particular style of boat that's used for that is more of barges. They're very low, they're very flat, they're basically rectangles that sit in the water. And again, you can go ahead and build one. You can use the same wheel design as we used over there for the water mill, only you're only making one wheel instead of two. If you made the boat on a bigger scale, you could go ahead and toss in two. Yeah, so you have your barge here, and again, it's loaded up. It's all set to go. We've got some logs that have been harvested here in the forest, and we're already set to take them in. And you've got a little captain's quarters, not much. He's probably not going too far down the river before he's got to dump off his work for the day and then come back for more. So this is the area set up here. Yeah, and over here I had a few other ideas that I kind of came across and I wanted to show to you guys. If you guys are coming up with builds and you are trying to create maybe your own kind of tree, and let me explain what I mean by this. Jungle trees grow like so. They grow 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then they grow up. And so outside, even though this log here can be representative of one log because it's texturally outside with the bark, right now we are hiding these inside textures and we get the illusion of this being one solid tree. Now you can expand on this a little instead of a 4x4 and go a little bit bigger, and you can have a, oh sorry, I made that a little too big, and you can have a core on the inside, right? That would make sense. Well, I was thinking if somebody was to be working in a creative map and they were making really, really big trees, that this might be a cross-section of a really large tree that had been cut down. So of course you just have the regular logs on the outside, and then you have the actual cut wood on the inside. So I thought that that was kind of a nifty idea. So I went ahead and made an example of that for you guys today. And another thing I wanted to show you, if I can hop back down into where my electric room is, I will show you guys, and this will be the last part of my tour for today. A little difficulty there. So not only is our generator generating electrical energy, and it's sending it out to this display here. And again, I've used power rails to represent the lines with the most power. So as you can see, this line has 3 powered rails, so it's got the most power, and this one only has 1 powered rail, so this is the weaker of the 3 lines. Well, not only is that the situation that we're using this electrical energy that we've generated to power our saw in the mill, but we can use it for other projects that are related to a lumber mill. And out here we have a little transmission booth, and that's what this is. Right here we have, you know, just kind of little levers you can go ahead and turn on and off, and we have the same pattern kind of representing the 3 lines of power that we are transmitting. And I've gone ahead and set up some little tripwire hooks to kind of send out the electricity. And again, I feel like these note blocks in the vanilla texture pack at least make really good transformers or kind of electrical blocks. I feel like they're kind of underused, and a lot of people don't use them necessarily for note blocks. So I tend to use them for a lot of decoration. And here I have some high transmission power lines. Up on top I've got some redstone torches. You would, you know, find lighting on this sort of thing just for like airplanes or whatnot. And again, we've got our little note boxes transformers. And we've taken advantage of our tripwire hooks and actually gone ahead and run string all the way down where the lines are. And that is one of the disadvantages of the vanilla texture pack with this. I feel like there's other texture packs out there that make the string visible and therefore make these transmission lines a whole heck of a lot more entertaining. Well, anyways, now that the electricity, or the redstone power, has figuratively come all the way down our transmission line and back out through our transformers and into, hey look, another generator, we can use it here at a remote mining camp. Another cool thing I threw together for you guys today was, well, I don't know, what do you think it looks like? Because I think it looks like a pretty nifty bulldozer. Yeah, that's right, I threw together a bulldozer for you guys today. As you can see on the side here, I've got the treads and I've got the spokes. These spokes are upside down stairs and half slabs in combination with each other. The gear mechanisms on the inside of the track for the bulldozer are iron bars and dispensers on the sides. And the top of the bulldozer is just a combination of fence posts so that you can see in and out of the machine, and wooden roof. You can go ahead and make this out of a multitude of different materials. You don't have to use wood like I did. I use wood for the color contrast, and well, just because I played around with the stone and I felt like the stone made it look a little bit too bulky. But again, it depends on what texture pack you're using. And on the front we've got a little catch here. Currently we are moving some dirt, but you know, we could be moving some other materials. And on the inside we've made use of the fact that trapped chests and non-trapped chests do not bind with each other, and therefore you can kind of put them decoratively like so. So this little guy here is ready to do a lot of work around our mining camp, and I think he's a cool little vehicle. And on the back, just kind of like for engines, we have furnaces. And another really cool thing I found out is that by putting a lava bucket and some food in there at night, you're going to get the light source from the furnaces, and the lava bucket does burn for quite a long time. So that gives you kind of a very pleasant effect in the evening. Makes you feel like you kind of, you know, got taillights on your vehicle, so that's kind of cool. Alright guys, I think that's about all for my tour today. Thank you very much for checking out my mining camp, and I appreciate it very much. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or would like to see more builds of a creative variety, go ahead and give me a comment or a like, or send me a personal message, and I will do my best to get back to you guys. Again, thank you very much. This has been Lumber Mill Incorporated with your host, Master Vinny MC, and enjoy all of your energy / steampunk / lumber mill / so on and so forth creations in Minecraft. And I will catch you guys in the future.